Sagittarius. You're seeking harmony with grown kids. Astrological paths to wellness. There's a new kind of silence that follows you now. Not the peaceful kind, but the quiet that hums with absence. The calls come less often, the messages are shorter, and the laughter that once filled your kitchen now lingers only as an echo. You tell yourself this is what you wanted: independence, space, freedom for them to grow. Yet somewhere deep inside, your Sagittarius heart whispers, "But where do I belong now?" You've spent years nurturing, guiding, and loving with a fire that never seemed to fade. But now, as your children step into their own worlds, the air between you feels colder, and your light flickers with questions. Did I do enough? Did I love the right way? Why does distance feel so heavy? It's not failure, dear Sagittarius, it's evolution. The relationship you built through years of care is shifting forms, and like all transitions under Jupiter's watch, it asks for grace, not guilt. The stars are inviting you to see this distance not as disconnection, but as sacred space. Space for both you and your children to rediscover yourselves as individuals, and perhaps meet again, soul to soul, without the armor of roles. Jupiter, your cosmic teacher, rules expansion, faith, and perspective. Its light reminds you that every emotional gap is an invitation to widen your understanding of love. Not the kind of love that clings, but the kind that breathes. It's time to let wisdom, not worry, guide you. Harmony doesn't mean returning to what was. It means learning a new rhythm, one that honors your freedom and their growth equally. Take a breath and place your hand over your heart. Feel its steady beat. The rhythm that once soothed your children as they slept. The same rhythm that still connects you even across miles. That bond hasn't broken. It's simply evolving into a subtler, deeper melody. This is your season of healing, Sagittarius. The stars are shifting and Jupiter's benevolence is opening new doors. Not just for reconciliation, but for rediscovery. You're not losing love. You're learning how to love without boundaries, how to listen without fear, how to stay free without drifting apart. So tonight, when the quiet feels too loud, step outside and look up. Jupiter's glow is still there. Steady, golden, forgiving. It whispers through the sky. Harmony isn't found in control. It's born from expansion. And as the breeze brushes your skin, you'll realize the same stars watching over your children are watching over you. You're still connected. Always have been. Always will be. Chapter 1: The loneliness between conversations. When love feels distant. You never imagined that motherhood could feel this quiet. There are no more lunchboxes to pack, no reminders to shout up the stairs, no doors slamming in youthful rebellion. Instead, there are text bubbles that stay gray, phone calls that end too soon, and a space in your heart that feels both proud and hollow. You watch their lives unfold on screens, photos of friends, jobs, travels, while your own days grow quieter, slower, softer. The freedom you once longed for has finally arrived, yet it tastes a little bittersweet. For the Sagittarius woman, silence is not easy. Your soul thrives on movement, conversations that stretch past midnight, laughter that fills rooms, adventures shared. You've built your world on connection, truth, and the joy of being known. So when your grown children retreat into their own universes, it can feel like exile. You want to celebrate their independence, yet inside something aches. Not for control, but for closeness. You tell yourself they're busy. They're growing. And it's true. But beneath that understanding lies another truth. You miss being needed, being understood, being part of their daily rhythm. You miss the spontaneous hugs, the "Mom, what do you think?" that made you feel anchored in their orbit. Now you stand on the edge of their galaxies, watching from afar, hoping your light still reaches them. Across the world, countless mothers share this quiet ache. In the U.S., studies reveal that nearly half of parents over 50 experience emotional isolation after their children move out. In Europe, where intergenerational families once shared homes and meals, support networks have dropped to 68%. This isn't just cultural, it's generational. The rhythm of modern life pulls families apart faster than hearts can adapt. And for Sagittarius women, who crave meaning and shared joy, the result is emotional fatigue that seeps into body and soul. You might notice the signs: the restless nights, the sudden waves of sadness that come without reason, the heaviness in your chest when you see old photos. These are not symptoms of failure. They are signals from your spirit. Jupiter is whispering that something needs tending, not outside of you but within. The distance between you and your children mirrors the distance between you and your own evolving self. Perhaps this is the moment Jupiter has been preparing you for all along. The great initiation into midlife truth. The truth that love doesn't end when children grow. It transforms. The truth that your role is shifting from caretaker to guide, from anchor to compass. And the truth that harmony begins not by chasing connection, but by learning to radiate peace even in solitude. There's a woman named Renee, a 51-year-old Sagittarius from Oregon, who once told me, "When my daughter stopped calling every week, I felt like a ghost in my own story." She began journaling under each full moon, writing not to her daughter, but to herself. What do I miss most? What am I afraid of letting go? Within months, the ache softened. Her daughter noticed the shift too. "You sound lighter lately," she said. It was then that Renee realized. By healing her loneliness, she was also healing the energy between them. So tonight, dear Sagittarius, when the silence feels unbearable, don't fill it with worry. Fill it with breath. Sit by a window, let the moonlight wash over you and whisper, "We are still connected." Even in distance, love remembers. Let Jupiter remind you that separation is never the end. It's simply a call to expand your heart even wider. Because sometimes, harmony isn't found in constant contact. It's found in faith, faith that love travels freely across time, across miles, across silence. And in that quiet knowing, your spirit begins to rest again. Chapter 2: Jupiter's Benevolence. A cosmic map for reconnection. When the heart feels distant from the ones it loves, Sagittarius, your first instinct is to act, to bridge, to fix, to reach out. Yet Jupiter, your ruling planet, teaches a softer truth. Reconnection doesn't come from grasping. It comes from expanding. It asks you to rise above the noise, to see your family dynamics not as failures, but as seasons, each one carrying its own rhythm, its own sacred timing. Jupiter's energy is benevolent, patient, and wise. It governs growth that feels slow but steady, the kind that comes when you release pressure and trust divine timing. In astrology, Jupiter's transits often illuminate moments for healing, truth-telling, and renewal. When Jupiter moves through your 4th house, emotional foundations are rebalanced. When it travels your 5th, joy and creativity return to your connections. When Jupiter touches your natal moon, it's as though the cosmos itself is opening your heart again, allowing compassion to flow freely. You don't need to study every aspect to feel this movement. You can sense it intuitively. Those days when your chest feels lighter, when the urge to reconnect arises not from guilt but from love, that's Jupiter's whisper. Now is the moment. Think of Elena, a 49-year-old Sagittarius mother from Barcelona. Her son had been distant since leaving for university, their calls clipped, their warmth replaced by politeness. One evening, during a waxing moon and Jupiter trine to her Venus, she wrote him a letter. It wasn't about rules or expectations, it was a simple note saying, "I miss laughing with you. I hope life is teaching you joy." Weeks later he called, laughing softly. "Mom, I got your letter. I didn't realize how much I missed us too." That's Jupiter's magic. Not in control but in timing. Not in forcing but in trusting. In this chapter of your life, let the stars become your allies in communication. Mercury's cycles, the moon's moods, and Jupiter's expansions all weave into the story of your family's evolution. Plan heart-centered conversations when Mercury moves direct. Words land more clearly. Emotions flow more gently. Use waning moons for release, forgiveness, closure, letting go of tension. And when Jupiter aligns harmoniously with your chart, treat it as a cosmic green light for reconnection. Send the message, plan the visit, say "I love you," even if it feels one-sided. Above all, remember, Jupiter expands what you focus on. If you dwell on distance, it grows. But if you nurture gratitude, love multiplies. Begin each morning with a quiet ritual. Light a candle and whisper 3 blessings aloud. One for yourself, one for your child, and one for the unseen bond that still holds you together. Energy follows attention, and attention is your most powerful offering. Reconnection also asks for patience. Jupiter's lessons are rarely instant. They are earned through faith. Sometimes the healing comes in silence, your child's energy softening, their heart slowly remembering the safety of your love. You may not see it yet, but beneath the surface, your consistency and calm are reweaving the threads between you. Sagittarius, Your journey isn't about chasing harmony. It's about embodying it. Jupiter calls you to live the truth you want your children to feel. Joy, honesty, forgiveness. When they sense that light in you, they begin to find their way back. Not through pressure, but through resonance. So, take your eyes off the distance for a moment. Look up at the night sky and find Jupiter steady, glowing, generous. Imagine its light pouring into your heart, dissolving judgment, expanding patience. Whisper, I trust divine timing. Love knows the way home. Because under Jupiter's gaze, no relationship is ever truly broken. Only waiting for the right alignment to shine again. Chapter 3: The Sagittarius Path to Wellness. Activities that heal connection. Healing for a Sagittarius woman has never meant retreating into stillness. It means moving toward light, wisdom, and reconnection. You are a seeker by nature, guided by Jupiter's vast and generous heart. When relationships feel strained or hollow, your medicine isn't control. It's curiosity. The same energy that once led you to explore new horizons can now guide you toward emotional renewal. Begin with reflection that nourishes, not drains. Pick up a journal, not to document arguments or regrets, but to rediscover meaning. Write about the seasons of your family life, the laughter of childhood summers, the long talks, the small kindnesses that still linger in memory. Let gratitude become your anchor. Studies show that parents who practice daily gratitude report higher emotional well-being, especially in midlife transitions. For Sagittarius women, gratitude isn't just emotional. It's spiritual alignment, a way of remembering that love's story is bigger than any moment of silence. Turn to reflective reading as a balm for the restless mind. Choose works that speak to growth and reconnection. Brené Brown's insights on vulnerability, or Rumi's poetry on the eternal bond between souls. Read them not for instruction but for resonance. When you find a passage that touches something deep, pause and breathe. Let the words become prayer. Sometimes healing enters through a single line that says, "You are not alone in this." Sagittarius energy thrives on experience, so allow your healing to have movement. Take walks in open spaces, along rivers, through parks, beneath trees that whisper of endurance. These quiet journeys are not escapes. They are recalibrations. The body's rhythm mirrors the universe's rhythm, and in walking, you synchronize with it again. You may even dedicate each step to something. Forgiveness, patience, trust. Let each footfall be a promise. I'm walking toward peace. When tension feels sharp, bring your healing back into the body. Create small rituals that blend mindfulness with your fire element. Light a candle and focus on its flame, imagining it as Jupiter's golden energy clearing your worries. Add herbs that resonate with Sagittarius vitality. Rosemary for renewal, chamomile for calm, sage for cleansing. Even something as simple as brewing tea with intention can become alchemy. As the aroma fills your space, repeat softly, I allow love to expand again. Health data from the US and Europe reminds us that emotional fatigue from family strain can affect physical wellness, raising stress hormones, disrupting sleep, and diminishing vitality. For Sagittarius women, whose energy is their signature, restoring balance means tending both spirit and body. Try morning stretching or yoga beneath an open window. Let the sunlight kiss your skin. Jupiter's energy flows best when the body moves freely. This is why stillness often feels unnatural for you. Movement is meditation. In moments when loneliness returns, channel your fire into creative expression. Paint, garden, cook, or dance. Let your joy manifest physically, even if your heart is still tender. A Sagittarius mother once told me she healed her relationship with her son by starting a ritual they both could share. Every Friday, they cooked a new recipe inspired by a different country. We began talking about flavors, she said, but ended up talking about feelings. The stars reward such acts of simple, soulful courage. And when the evenings feel long, return to the stars, your true home. Step outside, breathe in the night air, and gaze upward. The same constellations that guided explorers for centuries now guide your heart toward peace. Each star, each flicker, reminds you that connection doesn't disappear. It just shifts form. You can still feel your children, even across oceans, even through silence. The universe carries your love through unseen threads of energy and intention. End each day with this affirmation: quiet, sincere, powerful. I choose calm over control. I create harmony by expanding love. I am guided by Jupiter's wisdom toward joy. Let it settle into your being. Because healing isn't something you achieve. It's something you embody, moment by moment. And as your light steadies, you'll begin to notice something subtle but miraculous. The universe responding. A message. A smile. A moment of laughter that feels effortless again. That's Jupiter's gift. Not instant perfection, but steady expansion. Your wellness becomes your family's wellness. Your balance becomes their peace. And through it all, your free Sagittarian spirit learns that connection isn't lost in distance. It's deepened through growth. Chapter 4: Stories of Renewal. Reconnecting through compassion. Healing rarely happens in grand gestures. It happens in the quiet, consistent choices of love. For Sagittarius women, reconnection is not about forcing closeness, but rediscovering compassion in new forms. It's about transforming the ache of distance into a bridge of understanding, where both you and your grown children can meet again. Not as who you were, but as who you've become. Let's begin with Mara's story, a 52-year-old Sagittarius mother from Dublin. After years of feeling her son drift away, their conversations reduced to quick updates and polite texts. Instead of chasing him for contact, she turned inward, journaling under Jupiter transits, walking every morning to clear her thoughts, whispering affirmations of peace. Then one day she began a small ritual, sending her son one message every Friday titled Gratitude from Mom. It wasn't about advice, just gratitude. "I'm proud of how you've built your life," she'd write. "I hope today brings you joy." First there was silence. Then a simple reply. "Thanks, Mom. That means more than you think." Slowly, gratitude softened what years of argument could not. Or Elise, a Sagittarius woman in France, who reconnected with her daughter through shared philosophy. Every Sunday, they read a few pages of The Prophet or Women Who Run with the Wolves, and discussed what resonated. These talks became sacred, not about fixing the past, but about exploring truth together. "We started as mother and daughter," Elise said, "but somewhere along the way we became equals, two women learning from the same book of life." Even across the Atlantic, the pattern repeats. In the U.S., many Sagittarius mothers carry the weight of midlife anxiety amplified by generational crises, children navigating uncertain careers, social pressures, emotional turbulence. Studies reveal that young adults today report the lowest happiness rates in decades, and this energy ripples through families. Yet, here lies the Sagittarius gift. Your natural optimism becomes the remedy. You are the Jupiter archetype in their lives, the steady flame reminding them that faith still matters, that hope still heals. To embody that energy, practice what I call compassionate alignment. Each week, choose one loving act that requires no response. Lighting a candle for your child, sending a silent blessing, or writing their name in your gratitude journal. It may seem small, but energetically it shifts everything. The universe amplifies intention, and your child feels that softness, even subconsciously. Love transmitted without demand always finds its way home. Then invite joy back into your home in playful ways. Sagittarius energy thrives through humor, learning, and experience. So let that guide your healing. Plan a memory night with your grown kids. Cook an old family meal, play songs from their childhood, laugh about the silly moments. Or if miles separate you, start a digital ritual. Share one photo each week of something that made you smile. No expectations, no pressure. Just small exchanges of light. Over time, these threads weave harmony back into your shared story. There's also deep power and compassion for yourself. Forgive the version of you that tried too hard, that spoke in fear, that didn't always understand. Forgiveness doesn't erase what happened. It transforms your relationship with it. You are still growing, still learning, still worthy of grace. The moment you stop judging yourself, you stop judging the silence between you and your children. And in that release, the air clears. Many Sagittarius women in midlife rediscover connection only after they reclaim their joy. When your energy is light, your children feel it. They trust your peace and are drawn back to it. Jupiter teaches that joy is magnetic. It draws love, communication, and laughter back into orbit. So give yourself permission to live fully again. Travel. Learn something new. Dance in your kitchen. Let them see your fire alive and well. Not burning out from worry, but glowing with faith. Because, dear Sagittarius, you were never meant to fade quietly into motherhood's afterglow. You are the eternal seeker. The philosopher who turns pain into purpose, and distance into divine space. As you open your heart wider, the universe responds in kind. And one day soon, when your child calls just to chat, or sends a message that simply says, "Miss you," you'll smile. Not because harmony has returned, but because it never truly left. It was waiting, patient and luminous beneath the noise all along. That's the beauty of Jupiter's gift. Not reconciliation through effort, but through expansion. When your love grows larger than fear, harmony becomes inevitable. Balance as a way of loving. And now, as the stars quiet above you and the night settles like silk, you can finally breathe. The silence that once stung now feels sacred. A pause, not a void. It holds space for everything you've learned, everything you've let go, and everything that still lives in your heart. The storms have softened. The tension between you and your children is no longer a wound, but a landscape, textured, imperfect, alive. Sagittarius, your journey toward harmony was never meant to bring you back to what once was. It was meant to guide you somewhere deeper, to a love wiser, freer, and more sustainable. You've learned that connection isn't constant contact. It's the quiet faith that love endures even when unspoken. You've discovered that balance isn't a final state, but a living rhythm, one that breathes with every sunrise, every silence, every shared smile that bridges generations. Jupiter's benevolence has done its work, not by erasing conflict, but by expanding your perspective until compassion became your new compass. You've stepped beyond guilt and worry into something softer, acceptance. You no longer need to chase harmony. You create it simply by being calm, kind, and open. Your presence itself has become healing. Take a moment now, right here, right where you are. Close your eyes and picture your family as stars in the same constellation. Some closer, some distant, yet all shining together in one design. Feel the golden light of Jupiter flowing from your heart to theirs, dissolving the remnants of tension, weaving you back together through grace. Whisper this affirmation softly like a promise to yourself and to them. I release what was. I open to what is. I trust that love will always expand to meet me. You don't need to know when the next call will come, or if the next visit will go perfectly. The truth is simpler. Love is still here, evolving, breathing, expanding. And that is enough. So as you step into tomorrow, carry this wisdom in your spirit. Harmony is not a destination, it's a practice. It's the way you listen, the way you forgive, the way you choose to keep your heart open even when distance lingers. Jupiter will keep guiding you, reminding you that freedom and connection were never opposites. They were two wings of the same flight. You are not losing your family. You are rediscovering them and yourself through love that is wiser, wider, and infinite. I live in balance. I love without fear. I trust the universe to return every distance into understanding.